Have you ever tried to look put together and you just look a little out of this world? I tried. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lost My Ducks. Lost my ducks, lost my ducks. Ducks are lost, no idea where they are. That's the theme song for today. Hi everybody. Anywho, we're done. Today we're going to talk about space aliens. I had to. Come on. Come on. It's like the biggest story going on right now is David Gersh. I think that's how you say his name. Is testifying in front of Congress. And this guy has been doing UFO interviews for a while. But he is testifying in front of Congress about aliens and alien spacecraft and biologics and all this other stuff. And I'm not going to do a full history of UFOs and crazy people talking about aliens. I am going to have a little, we have Roswell 1950. I think it was before that. Way back then. Roswell. And then we have, a lot of other shady shit the government has done. Excuse the yawn, please. A lot of other shady shit the government has done. There's all kinds of shady shit. Anywho, okay. We're going to start off. Do you guys remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, a dude named Bob Lazar? Okay. So it is highly thought. Some people believed him. Some people thought he was a crock of shit. Other people were like, meh, who cares? So back in 1989, there's this guy named Bob Lazar, and he's like, oh yeah, I reverse engineered alien spacecraft for the US government at Area 51. And people were like, no, you didn't. And some people were like, holy shit, yeah, you did. So that for me is the big thing that started the whole alien thing. Because I was a kid. I watched X-Files. My mom let us watch it from season 1, day 1, and the pilot was amazing. It was had aliens, it had action, adventure, it had everything you wanted a space show to be about, right? Do you know what I mean? So Bob Lazar had all these wild claims, but no evidence that he reverse engineered alien spacecraft. Then in 1990, he was arrested as part of a prostitution ring. And he kind of fell off the radar for a bit. And then in 2006, he was arrested for selling chemicals or something, illegal chemicals. He's a nutcase. Anyways, and a lot of really credible people have been this guy's totally making it up. But what if he wasn't, right? That's always the conspiracy theory. What if he wasn't? Okay. So I had the opportunity, I wouldn't say opportunity, I would say it was part of my job that in the 2000s, I anchored news at a radio station and I did the overnight sometimes, and I would listen to Coast because that's what was on. I will say this right off the bat, George Norrie is one of the greatest interviewers we have because he is able to take Ed the Talking Horse or the man who thinks he's a horse or any of that stuff and interview these people and it's good. He actually seems like he genuinely cares. And there is a way to interview people, and he is so good at it, especially with some of the subject matter. It's just what the fuck? Anywho. So he's able to just talk to people, and he does a really good job of it. That being said, fast forward to 2021 when the Pentagon released, declassified a bunch of like UFO top secret alien papers. And I think that's because the president was telling people to drink household chemicals to cure COVID and people were dying. Um, I think that was 100% a distraction. Everyone's like, yeah, we already knew, nobody cares. Anyways, so now we have this David Gersh. I think that's how you say his last name. I get his credentials. Okay, so he was a former intelligence officer. They could be making it up. Like, let's be real. I've watched parts of the interviews and like, well, his testifying in Congress. And there are some things like, yeah, we have biologics, we have this, we have that, we have these spacecraft. Where do you think we got, like, these spacecraft can do this? There's interdimensional things. They come down from the different dimensions. And I'm like, maybe. As far as I understood multi-dimensional existence, it's kind of more like a loaf of bread instead of coming like from like 5D space. Like, I guess that could happen too, but like I understood it's more of a loaf of bread. Unless we're saying multi-dimensional as in like they travel in the fifth dimension and then come out of it, or the sixth or seventh dimension, like they're able to like transcend time, which is the fourth dimension, and move without that affecting them, kind of thing. So a different type of warp drive, I guess to say. Anyways, that's not the important part. The important part about these is there was one in specific question, and the way he answered it, I'm going to let you guys watch the video.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General.
Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity, and I got to...
By UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
If you were me, where would you look? Titles, programs, departments?
I'd be happy to give you that in a closed environment. I can tell you specifically.
And I would say, and I've told people that you have to know where to look. They're not going to divulge it to you because of the classification levels. But if you know where to look and who to talk to, which is exactly what Mr. Grush can point you, then you have them.
So when he answered that question, he was very much, and there's a couple questions that he answers like this. Oh, I'll tell you, like, behind closed doors. I'll tell you, not here. I'll write them down. I have the list with me. It's right here. But I'll give you their names behind closed doors. And it's like, you're testifying at Congress, so everybody can hear this. Why don't you just tell us now? Like, I get like national security and privacy and all, but you're sitting here spouting about alien spacecraft and aliens and that we have alien visitors. And some people are like, oh, maybe they're preparing us for when the aliens come. I'm like, maybe they are. But I really think most people would just want to go with the aliens at this point. And then there's questions like, why haven't they attacked us? Why haven't they just killed us? I don't think personally space-dwelling species would still be violent like that. Do you know what I mean? I think they would very much be observers. I feel that Earth is the violent people in the universe, and that's why they don't want us around. I feel that humanity, we're the Klingons and the aliens are the Vulcans and the humans and the that you see in Star Trek. Like, I feel that we're like a very violent society. and that's why the aliens want nothing to do with us. That's just me. Anywho, there's just some things that he's talking about, and he's answering the questions, and he's telling people about this stuff, but he's like, oh, well, I'll tell you that answer behind closed doors. And you can kind of tell she's like, oh yeah, okay. Lies. I'm not here to like debunk what this guy is saying, or say that he's a liar, or say that anything nefarious is going on. Obviously something nefarious is going on. Like, we have a whistleblower. Did you guys know that a couple years ago, Congress passed a law that says that UFO whistleblowers will be protected? And I think that's because these people are keeping this even from like Congress and the president and most countries. If you look around, like most developed countries have either legislation or they have a plan for when aliens come. They really do. I am betting people thought, or government thought, that we would all just freak out and nobody cares. And I think that's because most of our government is really old. And some of these people, were they alive for War of the Worlds when that was broadcast? Maybe. When was that? When did that happen? I can't remember. 1938, 39, I think. War of the Worlds, Orson Welles. They were alive for that and saw like the mass panic. And that's, I think, what we've based it all off of, is what happened with the War of the Worlds radio broadcast. And that was the Mercury Theater. And you should check that out in my other podcast, In the Spotlight. I'll be putting that up because it was broadcast on Halloween. I'll be putting that up around Halloween. And I went through and edited a version of it without the extra commercials and without the welcome to the Mercury Theater kind of stuff. So it like sounds just like the broadcast. Like, it's really cool. Anyways. Yeah, I think that was like the only real indication anybody had of what if aliens are real, was this small town freaking out, because it wasn't broadcast nationwide. It wasn't this huge thing. It was in California. And I don't remember what town it was, but they freaked out because that was your only form of entertainment. Now our forms of entertainment are YouTube and live streams and podcasting, and like, we're so connected, more connected than we've ever been ever before. So there you go. That's what's happening. Anywho, do I think aliens are real? Yes, 100% I do. Do I think they're here? Well, if they are, cool. Window seat. Please. I'm smart. You know, like what do you, like what? Anyways. That's about it. Window seat. Could you imagine? That would be so crazy. That would be so cool. That's my take on it. It is what it is. And if it's happening, it's happening. And if it's not, it's not. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lost My Ducks. If more crazy shit with this happens, I will absolutely be updating. And I will talk to you guys next Friday. Bye.